This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English, episode number 341. I literally just had to check that as I was saying it because I never remember. I often even get messages from people saying you got the numbers wrong. As mentioned before, obviously I have difficulty counting. Pretty difficult, isn't it? Anyway, in today's podcast, we have Boom Boom Cannon. Yes, he is back. A lot has changed in Boom Boom's life, as you will hear on the pod. And we talk about turning 40 because soon we will be turning 40, both Boom Boom and I. Boom Boom first, he's older than me. So yeah, we talk about that. So here is the episode. Slight mini problem with audio, not to the highest quality. I'd say 90% this time, but you know how much I love audio. We had some small problems. I'm not going to bore you with the details. But if you have any difficulty understanding anything, remember, check out my online course, Jungle Listening, which transforms the jungle of fast-spoken English into clear comprehension. Anyway, here is the conversation. I will talk to you at the end, but in the meantime, happy listening. Boom Boom Cannon, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Martin. How are you?
Always fantastic, Boom Boom. Always fantastic. Even more fantastic, you are finally back on the pod. A lot has changed since the last time you were on. You're now a father, a dad. How's that?
Yes, I am. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm enjoying it. Just been getting some tips from you. Pre this chat.
Yeah, but just let's remember I said, here is some advice, but like, don't really sort of consider what I say because my kids are a nightmare and don't sleep. So basically just bear that in mind, okay, with the advice.
Yeah.
But, anyway, how do we usually start the show, Boom Boom?
Well, it's been a while since I've been here,
Yeah.
so things could have changed. But I'm going to guess they haven't and say it's with a review.
Correct. Now, normally I would ask if you think we have one, but I actually completely forgot to even check for one. So
things have not changed.
No. Well, I kind of even forgot we were recording this and had to sort of put a podcast together last minute. So haven't checked, but this is more reason why people should actually send it directly to me. So then I wouldn't need to check. I could just say, yep, someone sent it to me yesterday. Okay, so there's a message to everyone. Please send me reviews. So on to today's pod. So yep, you have become a dad, Boom Boom. I thought we could talk about that, but then I thought something else is happening in our lives very soon. Big birthday for the both of us coming up. You obviously before me, Boom Boom, next month in October, the big 40, turning 40, and then me. So I thought I've got a list, preparation for turning 40. Okay.
I wasn't feeling especially unprepared prior to this. But
well, I just have to make sure, Boom. I've already given you some advice about some rubbish advice about being a parent. Okay, so I thought, well, also for me, let's prepare ourselves. We don't know what to expect. We've never been there before, Boom Boom. Okay,
no, let's do it.
So we don't know what to expect. So okay, first on my list is accepting your first grey hair. Embrace it or colour it. Either way, it's coming. Now I'm looking at you, Boom Boom. Now there are no grey hairs in sight. Have you found one? Because that's the thing. You still look young and fresh, Boom Boom.
Yeah. I did actually get ID'd quite recently.
Got ID'd. So for people that don't know, it's asking if you're asking for identification. So if you are 18 is the drinking age in Sweden, I imagine.
Yes, this was in the place here, the licensed place to buy alcohol, of which there aren't many. So it could be 21 there, I'm thinking.
Right.
I'm not actually sure because I've never really had to actually worry that I won't be able to buy the alcohol. And it hadn't happened for quite a while. So I thought I might have passed that stage where, that will never happen again. But it did happen.
So, well, either way, someone thinks that you're more or less 20 years younger than you actually are. So that's
it's not too bad.
No, it's definitely not.
But I do have a few grey hairs now. cropping
Well, I
up
mean, you're blonde
over
anyway,
here.
really. So it
Yeah,
kind of,
you-
that just blends in, because when you've got dark hair
Just-
like me, they stick out like a sore thumb.
yeah.
Um,
And
and
what's your approach to them?
Mrs. R&R said to me, like, I think you should think about like dyeing your hair now.
Really?
It's getting embarrassing. But I just said, like it says here, embrace it. I'm old, okay? I'm going with it.
I think so. I think
yeah.
it's quite quite dashing, isn't it? Grey hair on a gent.
Yeah, like
So
a silver fox, I think
embrace.
they're
Yeah.
called, aren't they? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, to be honest, as long as I've still got hair, like I'm happy in whatever way it's there, because that's the other problem I've got, that my hairline is starting further and further down my head. So yeah, I'll be happy as long as I've still got hair. The problem is as well, my beard, I've got like a grey beard, and when it gets long, especially, yeah, like toddler R&R always says to me, Daddy, why is your beard white? She often thinks that there's milk in there, but it's just like, no, just grey hair. So there we go. So, okay, another thing. So on the list, I got this list from Chat GPT actually. It says owning at least one fancy kitchen appliance. Do you know? Do you have any of these, like fancy kitchen appliances?
Yeah, I guess it depends what counts as fancy. I suppose the fanciest we have is a mocha master for making coffee.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Mocha. Right. Because I was thinking, what the hell is that? That is so you, Boom Boom. So like hipster mocha master. I mean, is it just a coffee machine?
Yeah, it's a coffee machine, but it's
with
a
a fancy
master.
name. With a fancy name. Mocha master. We've got a coffee machine. I mean, I don't drink coffee. Mrs. R&R does, but I just call it a coffee machine. I don't know. I don't think it does.
What kind of contraption are we talking? The mocha master's got kind of like 4 sections.
Right.
Filters, filters one side, coffee's in the other.
Doesn't look so fancy. Just standard Italian coffee is making espressos.
Yeah.
So I don't think it is a mocha master, but I'm not sure if this comes under fancy, but something I like a lot, it's very big in the UK, are air fryers.
I see this all the time now, and I haven't really got my head around what an air fryer even is, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, fries with air, I think. But it's basically a really fast oven, from what I understood,
Okay.
which the month I almost had on my own when Mrs. R&R was in Sicily with the R&R babies. It was beautiful. Just come back from work, like throw something in the air fryer, 10 minutes, boom. You've
But
got
how
a
has this
meal.
happened? Because I feel like I'd never heard of an air fryer, and then within about 2 weeks, it felt like
Everyone's got an air fryer.
everyone's got an air fryer. But I don't think that's happened here in Sweden.
Yeah, I don't know if it's taken off around the world yet, the air fryer.
Yeah.
So maybe Rock and Roll English is bringing it to the world. So
I feel like the UK might be quite a kind of prime market for the air fryer business.
also very true, because it's basically a way of making food much faster. Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be healthier because you're frying it with air. So make of that what you will. Okay, so another one, getting into a new hobby that no one expected, like bird watching or knitting. It's your time now. So have you taken up any new hobbies in preparation for the big 4-0? Boom, boom.
No, not in preparation for the big 4-0.
Okay, any new hobbies in general?
Especially. I mean, my main hobby at the moment is changing nappies. I don't know if that counts as a hobby. There's not a lot of time outside of working and nappy changing and that sort of thing for hobbies. But no, my hobbies are still pretty. I think my shift in hobbies maybe came sort of 10 years ago, when you start to think, okay, I need to stay in shape a bit more.
For the big 3-0 then.
For the big 3-0, exactly.
Yeah.
Around that
Are you still
time.
staying in shape now that you're
Trying to?
dad?
I'm trying to a bit less. A bit less than I was before, but
it's a slow decline. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Believe me. So my new hobby, actually, I'm not sure if I really call this a hobby, but it sounds ridiculous. But is, wait for it, thinking. Now, what I mean by
that does not
this,
count as a hobby. That's something you should have been doing anyway.
Well, like you said, my life before was just changing nappies and work. I had no time to think. So
Okay, I'm
something.
looking forward to hear it. Talk me through how you've hobbified the concept of thinking.
Well, obviously now I take the train to London a few days a week, and you get on the train, and I would say 80% of people have got a phone or an iPad. Or like a newspaper. Like, in fact, I would say higher, so like high 90s have got something. I've now decided that is my thinking time. I just sit there, no headphones, no phone. So I think it's like a fancy way. Another fancy word would be saying mindful. I'm being mindful. Boom, boom.
Okay. Mindfulness. That's big these days. That's almost as big as air fryers.
I actually remember one of our friends gave me a book and it said mindfulness, and I remember you saying to me, "What the hell is that?" But that was about 15 years ago now. So
going back,
I was a pioneer for mindfulness as well. Boom, boom.
So you sit there and you just think.
Yeah, that's what I do, and everyone kind of looks at me.
Nightmare.
I think, like, yeah, that's what I mean.
Negative thoughts or positive thoughts?
A bit of everything. Just time to just just embrace my thoughts, because that's the thing. I think now when people talk about being mindful, that now means not using your phone.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, often people don't have that time, because as soon as you're on the toilet, you've got a few seconds, phone out, you don't have that time just to think. Boom, boom.
No, I'm listening to things. I'd say if I'm not sort of doing, if I have an opportunity to listen to something, a pod, like this one, for instance.
Yeah, of course.
I'm listening to something. So I don't do much of this so-called thinking.
Yeah, let's call it being mindful. Boom, boom. Okay.
But I think there's actually
like
another
your mocha master. Okay, I'm calling thinking.
That's a word for it.
Yeah, being mindful sounds better.
But I think there's actually another word for this that I read recently. When you're on like a form of transport and you don't do anything to sort of distract yourself, it's called rawdogging.
Rawdogging? That sounds like something sexual.
Yeah, I think that's where it started.
How does thinking turn into something? Well, I'm not thinking sexual things, boom, boom, on the train. Okay, generally I'm thinking like, I don't know, stuff about rock and roll English, like how can I be a better dad, stuff like this. Nothing sexual. Okay,
I think it maybe started with a sexual connotation, maybe, but it's come to mean more something where you do something in a sort of raw way. You don't distract yourself. You just. I first heard this through. I think it was Erling Haaland, the football player.
Okay.
Said that he was on a flight and he sort of showed a picture of everyone else was on their devices, and he said something like 5 hours. I'm raw dogging it all the way.
I saw that as well, but I didn't know that term has taken off. But
I think so.
If I have to choose between what am I going to call it, raw dogging or being mindful, I'm going for mindful. Okay. So
good choice.
That's my new hobby. So what about this next one, Boom Boom? Starting a skincare routine. I mean, again, do you? I don't think you maybe need this, but is something you've ever done? Putting on face cream, stuff like that.
I use moisturizer.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is the secret then. We all need every day moisturizer.
I'd say most days. I was going to say after I shave, but then I knew that would set you up. So what's that, once a month? It's a bit more regular than that these days.
Right.
But yeah, I'd moisturize pretty regularly, but I don't necessarily sort of classify it as a routine as such, more just
standard. Yeah.
Just what I do.
Maybe I need to do that because I'm just too lazy. That's the thing. When do you put it on, in the morning or in the bed? Because before you go to bed, I don't want to get into bed with a wet face.
Yeah, I'd say after I shower in the morning.
Right.
After a shave.
Because again, toddler R&R said to me the other day, she said, "Daddy, what's this?" And it was just they're just kind of wrinkles on the top of my head. If you could shut up, that would be good.
If you could never mention them again.
Yeah, exactly.
But moisturizer might be a bit more of a challenge for you because you got so much,
exactly
facial hair coverage. Whereas
exactly,
because I'm doing whenever shave, then a clean shave, the skin feels like it needs some moisturizer, but you don't, I guess, experience that very often.
Never clean shave. Haven't done that honestly in probably about 15 years. But yeah, the like cream on your face. So like when I was in Sicily recently, we were like right by the beach. We're going to the beach every day. And you know what? I was thinking, when you put sun cream on, if you've got a beard, do you need to put sun cream on that part? I don't know.
You're asking the wrong man.
Well, if anyone could answer that question, but because like when you even mention shaving, I'm just too lazy to shave. I like my beard is quite long at the moment, but it's just pure laziness. That's the only reason. I would actually like to shave more.
Instinctively, I feel like the hair is
part
covering the skin.
Okay,
like in terms of sun cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of doing the job for you.
But then this is the problem, and then so obviously you get a suntan, and then you have a shave, and then the top of your face is nice and brown, and then the bottom is still white, and you look like an idiot. So
I think the hair's doing the job, because you don't, massage sun cream into your scalp if you've got hair either, do you? Whereas if you're bald, that's a hot spot. That's a risk zone. As my dad tells me regularly.
Very valid point there. Boom, boom. Okay, so the next one says having a signature cocktail. So if you go to a cocktail bar, have you got a signature cocktail? What you're ordering? Boom, boom.
No, I'm a bit clueless when it comes to cocktails. Really.
Oh, really? I thought you would be straight on like a mojito or something.
I know I do like them. I know that I like a mojito. But
I definitely have you down for, if you like Mocha Masters, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Then I would definitely have you down for a mojito. That's such a, like, I don't know. If someone has a mojito, I just think, God, it's so stuck up.
You think, really? I feel like they're really stuck up. Mojito.
They're just too posh. It's like, oh yeah, no, I don't drink normal stuff.
Mojito's posh.
For me, it's posh.
What's a non-posh cocktail?
Well, when I tell you my favourite cocktail, is Sex on the Beach.
Okay, that's just because you like ordering it.
It's actually not. I actually do really like it. It's just got the word sex in. Well, if I'm I drink it whilst I'm raw dogging. Boom, boom.
No, see, I think those two things they counteract each other. I don't think you can raw dog means you don't even eat or drink. I think.
Oh right, I thought it was just like not. I thought so. If I go for a drink on my own and I'm just thinking, I don't
think that's raw dogging.
It's not raw dogging.
Yeah, but I'm a bit out of my depth here with this topic now. But yeah, and I think now that I think about it, raw dogging is completely like sort of interrupted by any distraction.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'll remember that next time I order a Sex on the Beach. I haven't had one in a while, I must admit. But
I think talking then of turning 40, that maybe Sex on the Beach, you're still clinging on to your sort of 20s cocktail choice.
Yeah, it's not really a 40-year-old cocktail.
No.
Is it? Yeah, that is a valid point.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this next one, I mean, you mentioned this, you touched upon this when you turned 30, but start thinking about long-term health. Is that something you pay a lot of attention to, Boom Boom?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah?
I think so.
See, I think I did until I had kids. Well, like I said, I have, in our pre-podcast chat, I have sort of been doing quite a lot more recently, but when it's just much more difficult to find the time to do those things. And plus, I just can't see myself at 50, Boom Boom. So
I'm getting there.
Yeah, no. So to be honest, I could never see myself at 40.
Because you're too rock and roll.
Too rock and roll, mate. Yeah. Living life in the fast lane. But I mean, I still haven't got there. I've still got a couple of months to go.
Yeah. So don't take anything for granted.
No guarantees. And this is why, actually, in Italy, I don't know, in Sweden, like, you cannot celebrate your birthday before it's your birthday. Like even if it's the day before, it's like, no, we can't celebrate because no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
Oh, right. Okay. But that sort of tallies with your sort of view on this. Is quite strict, isn't it, when people celebrate their birthdays? I know we had a couple of friends, I think, were celebrating sort of a joint birthday somewhere in between, and you found that concept very hard to accept.
Well, if it's just a rubbish birthday, like, like 32, like I think that one was, you can't be having a joint birthday when it was your birthday 2 weeks ago. That's just bullshit.
2 weeks.
The 40 thing, though, I mean,
Mm.
a few people, obviously, because we're at that age now, it's like some of our friends already have turned 40. And when I see how long celebrations go on for, like I see, so like they turned 40. So, for example, one of our friends turned 40, I believe, in June. And I was still seeing things in July of him with a cake with 40. And I was like, look, you've had your moment. Get over it. Like, you can, like, how many more times? And this is the other thing. Now, so yeah, this particular person. So, obviously, in England as well, people often would do it maybe before your birthday because of like if your birthday's on a Wednesday, they might do something on like a Saturday. So, like, I saw like pictures of him like on Saturday, and it was like had a cake, it was 40. Then it was his actual birthday, he had a cake, it was 40. Then it was the next weekend, then he like had something with his family instead of his friends. It's 40, his cake. Then he's gone away for with his family for the weekend, like a month later. He's got a cake that says 40. It's like, you cannot. How many times do I have to sing happy birthday to you? Like, and it's the other thing. You don't actually know when his actual birthday is. Like, do I need to comment on every photo? Oh, happy birthday. I was like, look, which one is it? Tell me. I'll do it one time. Pick one. And that day should be the actual day. Okay? Like,
the easy option is your actual birthday.
That's going to be definitely the easiest one. Just pick your actual birthday. Drives me mental. Okay, so we are going to stop the episode there. This conversation will continue in the Rock and Roll English family membership area tomorrow, where Boom Boom tells us what he's going to do for his birthday. I talk about what I'm going to do. As you can imagine, we are both doing absolutely mental things. Membership to the Rock and Roll English family is currently closed, but will be open again soon, where, remember, you get access to more than 1,000 extra podcasts and the possibility to be part of the greatest learning English community in the world, with lots of stuff going on. I can't be bothered to talk about it, but there's loads going on. Anyway, so let's have a look at some of the vocabulary, not in the order we had it, but let's have a look. So we had the term coming up when we said we have a big birthday coming up, so approaching, happening in the near future. When talking about going grey, Boom Boom said he finds it quite dashing. So dashing means attractive or stylish in a sophisticated way, especially used for men. We had the word fancy and also kitchen appliances. So kitchen appliances are things like kettles, air fryers and things like that, and fancy obviously meaning sophisticated, expensive. We had the term hipster as well. So a hipster is someone like Boom Boom who follows all the latest trends and fashions, like his Mocha Master, whatever it was called. Boom Boom also used the term contraption, which is a machine or device that appears strange or unnecessarily complicated. So he spoke about his Mocha Master. He said it depends about the contraption of the device that we are talking about. He also mentioned that the UK would be a prime market for air fryers. So the most perfect market, because air fryers are basically fast ovens. And I said that I was a pioneer for mindfulness. So a pioneer is the first person to explore a new area. Like me in this situation, I was the first person to find out about mindfulness, apparently. So that's why I am a pioneer. Then we had the term of the pod, raw dogging, which is a new term, as mentioned, coined by a footballer. But since Boom Boom said that, I have noticed it is becoming bigger and bigger. So in this context, it just means doing nothing, basically. So no iPad, no phone, no book, no nothing. Just sitting there thinking, being mindful, I suppose. Then we had the term connotation when I said raw dogging sounded sexual, and Boom Boom said, I think it started with a kind of sexual connotation. So connotation means the idea or emotion that word brings out, let's say, because if I hear dogging, that makes me think of something sexual. We also had the term stuck up when I said mojitos, the cocktail, for me are stuck up. So stuck up means kind of like arrogant or snobby. And if someone is stuck up, they often think they are better than other people. Then we had clinging onto, when Boom Boom said, like, you're turning 40 and you still like sex on the beach. You're clinging on to like a young person's cocktail choice. So clinging on, holding on tightly. And we also had the term tally. It tallies with. So Boom Boom said, when I mentioned you cannot celebrate your birthday early because you don't know that you will arrive until tomorrow, Boom Boom said it tallies quite well with your kind of thoughts on birthdays, like you should only celebrate on the day. So tallies, agrees, corresponds with. And last but not least, we had the term get over it, when again talking about birthdays and people that celebrate 20 times. I said, look, you've had your moment, your birthday, get over it, okay? Just recover, just forget about it now. Go ahead with your life, keep going, okay? So that is it for today. I will talk to you all again in 2 weeks, or maybe next week. I did promise you a podcast a week, didn't I? But as mentioned, life has quickly punched me in the face. As Mike Tyson said once, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. But I will try for next week. If not, see you in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.